Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Parshas Ki Tetsei, and we know that in the Chassidische Parsha, the Likutei Torah talks extensively about the Avodas Hashem, the message of our service to Hashem, from the opening part of the Torah of Ki Tetsei, that when we go out to war, of how the war is the war of life, of Shas Tzloisa, Shlas Kreva, that the time when we daven is the time of battle, and how it has to be alevacha, we have to be above and on top of our enemy in order to be successful and victorious. And in a beautiful mimer that the Rebbe talks about, that's this week in the Dvar Malchus from 1965, the Rebbe talks about to combine the message of the Parsha according to the Likutei Torah, which talks about going out the battle of life, specifically davening, with the Rashi in the opening Parsha that talks about that we're talking about a Mechemes Rishus, a voluntary war, meaning to say that's not a war that is the war of Eretz Yisrael or the war of any other kind of obligatory war, but a war that's a Mechemes Rishus, and therefore Rashi says because Vishavisa Shivyoy, the very fact that there is captives is a sign that this is not a war of for conquering Eretz Yisrael. So the Rebbe says, how do we combine the two? Because we know that the war of life, so to say, the war of prayer is not a rishus, it's not a voluntary war. It's something that we struggle through and we have to conquer constantly on a daily basis. We daven 3 times a day. So how could that be connected to the idea that this is a voluntary war, as if we have a choice not to go to battle? And in the Maimon, the Rebbe answers an amazing concept, that although that life is a life where we have struggles and we have things, challenges that we face, but at the end of the day, there's 2 ways to approach our mission here in this world. And one is, and it's not really so much a doing difference, it's mainly a perspective, how we view things. There's the view from this world, from Das Tachten, so to say, from the perspective from the world where we see things constantly. We see obstacles within ourselves or obstacles from outside ourselves that we have to overcome, we have to face, and we have to tackle. And we have the oyev, we have the enemy from within us, the Yetzer Hara and temptation and things that we have to struggle with, that we see everything from the value, from the situation, the way it is here in this world. But then you have the way things are from milmayla lamata, from above down, from this perspective of Torah, that we don't look at every situation in our life or any challenge that we have in our life as if how do we navigate the situation or how do we deal with the situation, but we actually look in a positive way every situation as an opportunity of how we're supposed to further our avodas Hashem. And we actually look at we try to look at the situation in the positive view. And therefore, it is a choice. The choice is, do we want to do our avoid in a way of war, or our avoid in a way of menucha, of calmness? And calmness is through Torah, through the fact that we recognize that this is an opportunity to bring godliness in every situation. That's the rishus, that's the choice. And this really connects to the idea of Elul. Because we know that in Elul we say Melech B'Sada, the king is in the field. And the Sada, like it says in this week's Parsha, about the woman who was taken advantage of, that if she was in the field, that we don't do anything to her because we know that she cried, she was in the field. Ve'ein Moishia, there's no one who could save her. In the Likutei Torah it says Va'ayin Moishia, that when you're in the level of the field, you're so lost in the world, ayin, that we have to reach the level of, like it says, Yesh Mi'ayin, the world has created something from nothing, the nothingness before creation, to help us in our avodas hatshuva. And the field, we know the field is the Sada of Esav. So we have 2 conflicting statements about the field. One is that it's the Sada, it's the field of Esav, where all kind of people hang out in the field, so to say, where situations like what could happen to a young lady, that she has no one to help her, it could happen in the field. Or we also have the field that says Melech B'Sada Neva, that a king is subjugated to the field. So to say, like the field feeds the king, the field feeds the city. And we combine the 2 ideas together by knowing that the true nachas, the true tainig, pleasure Hashem has, is the sada, is the field, is the fact when we go through struggles in life. But in the struggles themselves, in the mechama and the war itself, a person has the choice, and the choice is ours to how we view it. If we constantly look at life from the perspective of a battle, every situation's a battle, and everything's a struggle, and everything's a drag, and we're trying to just push through the day to get to Shabbos, push through the week, push through to get to Yom Tovim. So that's one way. The other way is that we say no, we take control. And even though that it's miyad Hashem, it's from Hashem, that we go through situations that are difficult, and not everything's up to us. But the decision is ours, the perspective, how we look at it. And we start to carve out times and moments and situations for ourselves and say, no, I'm going to take now a moment of menucha. I'm going to look at, right now I have 5 minutes I could learn. And therefore that's the moment I'm going to learn. I have an opportunity to do a mitzvah. Look at the positive. Start building pockets within your day where it's not a battle, but it's actually you're being proactive. You're not navigating life, or you're being proactive. You're affecting within the world, and slowly but surely you start to make more and more situations where you have control, and you're kind of in a way of menucha until the Eibishter sees that you're trying to put all your efforts in to creating a dir b'tachtonim in a positive way, and he gives us the bracha, and he benches us with the new year, with the ksivach simatoiva. We should have in a way of menucha, like we go from Ki Tetsei to Kisavi el Aretz, we go to the land, and like it finishes off this week's parsha that v'hoya b'niach Hashem lekecha, when it's going to be when Hashem gives us menucha from all our enemies. So we should have that taken from Yad immediately, right now. No more struggles, no more bayot. We should be able to go into the Shabbos in the way of menucha, Shabbos menucha, and into the Geula v'amitas v'ashleim v'karav ma'amash b'Shabbos.